Happy holiday to everyone. It's 12 noon. Today's City Line is a special half-hour edition. Hi, I'm Jackie Hall.
And I'm B.T. Bentley. During this holiday season, Christians are celebrating Christ's resurrection. But there are a lot of people throughout the world who don't celebrate it. Among them are the Moorish-Americans.
Who are the Moorish-Americans? After coming to this continent over 10,000 years ago, how have they preserved their Islamic culture?
What kind of lifestyle do they lead, and what is their role in today's society?
Proclaiming Islamism as their divine creed, what beliefs direct their daily lives?
Join us as we answer these questions and more.
The Moorish-Americans, up next on City Line. At this half-hour special edition, as we said, and that's to remind you we're not as long as we normally are. Happy holiday to you.
Same to you.
We're excited about being able to share some information about Moorish-Americans, and we'd like to welcome to City Line Sheikha Seabreeze Bay. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And Sheik Ankh.
Islam.
Welcome to City Line.
Thank you.
I know many people, including myself, are asking who are Moorish-Americans. And I think that this is a fine time to begin to educate us. Could you answer?
Okay, Moorish-Americans, the term itself is our nationality. It's our national identification. But due to the fact that in history, we as a people were held as slaves, the term black was put upon the term Moor, and we were once called black a Moor. And as they instituted the system of slavery, then the term was changed. Then they just dropped the Moor and began to call us black, Negro, colored, darky, coon, shine, etc. And once they did this, we as a people were cut off from our illustrious history of our forefathers, because we had been in this part of the world for over 10,000 years. And being the actual natives of this land, being Moorish-Americans, our flag was flying in this land. It was a red flag with a 5-pointed green star in the center.
As history goes, is there a particular spot in the world that represents your origins in terms of a locale?
This is it.
United States or North America?
Yes. Well, the term America, it was put here, that's an Italian term, Amerigo Vespucci. And upon Columbus discovering, or Columbus saying that he discovered America, the land was never lost, so there was no need to actually discover it. It was just that the Europeans were scared to venture out, but we had been traveling this coast because we had a trade route, which is the Nile, the Niger, and the Mississippi, which our forefathers dredged, and we traveled from one part to the other.
But where were the Moors? Did they start in America?
Well, we started as the ancient Moabites. And we sojourned. Joshua chased us out of the land of Moab.
And where would that have been geographically?
That would be over near Canaan, between where Egypt and Canaan sits, or Saudi Arabia.
Okay, because I'm sure that most folks who have done anything in their literature remember references to the Moors and so forth, but they're speaking mainly in terms of European and North African type of locations.
Right.
Exactly.
Because we ruled, as a matter of fact, the ancient Moroccan Empire covered from what is presently called Africa, which is also another Italian term, from Scipio Africanus. Now, the true and divine name of the landmass, and of course it was one, that's prior to the Atlantic Ocean and the sinking of the great Atlantis. Its true and divine name of this land and what is presently called Africa is Amexium.
Okay. Now, tell us a little bit about what makes a Moorish-American any different from other Americans. Is there something culturally that makes a distinct difference between you and non-Moors?
Well, yes, I'd like to address that by saying that the distinction between a Moorish-American and the persons that are practicing Christianity or the other forms of religion in this country is simply this. When you're born with your nationality, which is your descent nature, and also comes your religion. Now, the religion of the Moors, or the Moorish-Americans, is Islam. And this is that old-time religion that has been spoke about, sung about in the history of the so-called black people in this country. However, due to their ignorance, or our ignorance, in our history, we are under the impression that the old-time religion is anything but Islamism. And to give you a more specific time period, this is Old Jerusalem. See, right in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where the Liberty Bell sits, is Mount Sinai, where Moses, in ancient time, around 1490 BC, spoke to the great God of the universe, right here in this country. So this substantiates that the Moors, even Moses was a Moor, okay, was in this land.
But now how do we account for this discrepancy? Now, obviously, there will be a lot of folks saying, wait a minute, when I took geography, all these things took place a whole ocean away.
Exactly. That's an interesting point when you say geography. What has occurred in history is that through conspiracy and distortion, the geographical map has been changed and renamed. If you look in your biblical scriptures, you'll see the 7 temples in what they call them churches, but they're in Asia. Now, we know that this part of the land is Asia. Okay, it was connected by Atlantis, as the sister mentioned, and therefore, if you rename a geographical location, you disproportionately separate a people from their origin, their history, and whatsoever, and that's what happened.
Let me ask you, how do you document this? Because even in our introduction, we mentioned that you'd been in America 10,000 years. First of all, I'm sure most of us didn't even know America was 10,000 years old. How do you document it for one who's never heard this and who would like to know more, or certainly to find the written word?
Well, one, we have the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple, chapter 47, which takes you across the map. It shows you how we sojourn to this part of the world. Also, you can deal with Joshua, the 24th chapter of the Bible, dealing with the other side of the flood. You can also go into the Newz, the Sunday Sun, the Sun papers, and there they have an article dealing with the fact that the land here is the same as the land in Africa, and that's in June 1980.
The same in what respect?
And that it is the exact same land. They tested, the geologists tested it and said that this land and the land in Africa are one and the same.
And additionally, there's another resource material that you can consult. It's called The Miracle of the Ages by Worth Smith, published around 1937. And this primarily deals with a lot of the science that is not normally known or taught to our people, but is known by those who are in attendance of educational institutions such as Harvard, Dartmouth, etc. So that information has not been filtered down to our people. So again, we're being cut off. So there's a whole wealth of resource material which we do expound upon through a weekly program on Morgan's radio station on Sunday at 4 p.m. entitled The Light. And also we have inquiries from the public and educational institutions that ask us for resource material.
Okay, we're going to take a break now and continue, because when we come back, we'd like to begin to talk about your customs, your mores, and some of the things that you practice as Moorish-Americans. Please stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
Here's this week's community calendar.
Hello, my name is Nancy Wilkins. Big and Beautiful Sisters invite you to attend the fashion show on Sunday, April 6th at the Franklin Street YWCA from 7 to 9:30 p.m. The show will...
Welcome back to City Line. We're talking about Moorish-Americans, and I guess one of the things I'm curious about is what sorts of customs are distinctive among the Moorish-Americans that you practice and teach?
Okay, one of our basic customs is that the sisters do keep their heads covered at all times, because that's a sign of humility. And it's always been one of our dress codes. Our diet, we have a kosher diet, And of course, we don't eat pork. You deal with that in Deuteronomy, the 14th chapter, and Leviticus, the 11th chapter, dealing with our diet. Now, we basically deal with history. The Moorish Science Temple, the Divine and National Movement of North America Incorporated, is a profitable organization, the only one of its kind. We're part and partial of the government, because if you go back in history, President Lincoln set up proclamations, and he also signed into law the 13th Amendment with 20 sections. In these, in order to be free, a nation has to have land, a nation has to have money, a nation has to be, we have to be restored, because if you look at our present state, the names Seabreeze, Bentley, Hall, all of these belong to our so-called slave masters. And in order for us to be actually free, they have to be restored. And this is done via the Moorish Science Temple by the first step is proclaiming one's nationality, which is Moorish-American.
Now, is that with the, for lack of a better term, suffix at the end of Seabreeze?
Exactly, E-O-N-J.
Accomplishments?
Those are our ancient titles. We do not, basically, we do not change our names, because those names are like your check. We want to cash those in.
What about other customs? How do you practice your religion?
Well, we have our religious services that take place on Friday. That's the holy day for Muslims over the entire earth. And we give praise to Allah on Friday. Friday morning we have services, and Friday evenings. Also, we have a Sunday school class on Sundays around 10 to 1 p.m. And it's open to the public. You don't have to be a Muslim to attend or to visit the temple. And in relationship to your question, the preservation of our culture and our heritage is fortified by the policies of President Abraham Lincoln, and later developed and expounded upon by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And what this does is, in the proclamations of emancipation, there were provisions, and there are still provisions, for naturalization. Naturalization is such a key issue that in naturalization, your ancient family name is returned. When we went up on the slave blocks, they removed our family names and affixed the slave masters' names. So also, we must be compensated. And in order to preserve your culture and to consider yourself a nation, you must be colonized in a locale. And this is what the policy of colonization infers, that we are to take possession of over 22 states in the interior region of the United States and set up our own independent sovereign government.
Separate from the United States government?
Exactly, but it'll be classified as a wheel within a wheel. You know, you have a small wheel that would operate a larger wheel. And our people, speaking about all of our people of hue or complexion, have some problems with understanding that this will actually take place here in America. But if you look at the other countries in what is called Africa today, you have sovereign nations on a continent, as it is termed. The same thing will occur here in America.
Let me ask you just a few brief questions, again, because of our half-hour special today. When do you see this happening? And then I'd like to ask you about the numbers of Moorish-Americans, even in our state of Maryland, and how many in the country, for instance, in the United States. But first, when do you see the sovereign state being set up?
Okay.
Well, this process will begin this year, 1986. In 1986, we will be making moves for our actual freedom. The thing is that we as a people are free. We have been set free, but we don't have actual freedom, meaning it hasn't been manifested as an independent sovereign. Everything that we presently do, it's always subservient to someone else, someone else's system. We have nothing of our own, and we are a nation of people, and we need to have our own in actuality, to resolve the problems of the world. We first must be restored to the world.
When do you see this becoming a complete or a completion of that sovereign state?
Well, the sovereign state being consummated or coming to completion, we would say, look around, and I'm not being prophetic, but I'm saying look around the year 1990, okay, to see a lot of changes. President Reagan, despite the disbelief in many people who hear him, has said he wants to see a working emancipation by December 1986. Key in on that. He has also used the terms part and parcel, meaning that the Moorish Science Temple is a government organization as opposed to a primarily religious.
How many Moorish Americans are there in Maryland?
Go ahead. In response to numbers.
Yes.
Well, I can go back. In 1939, there were 9 million Moorish-Americans. So then you have to take into account descendants.
In Maryland?
Now, that's not in Maryland, that's overall. Here in Maryland, there should be about 10,000 or so Moorish-Americans.
10,000 plus. And that brings a key issue. The national headquarters in Washington, D.C., the Defense Department, Pentagon, ETC, the Moorish National Bureau of Vital Statistics was established for the registration of all persons classified as Negro, black, and colored to have their true nationality, Moorish-American, restored to them. And this headquarters here in Baltimore, 2500 Utah Place, is the registering agent. And we go into the federal agencies and teach all of them what the responsibilities are of being a Moorish-American, and they get in line to register. Just in brief, it's like you have an inheritance in the bank. In order to claim that inheritance, you must go to the bank with some identification, right? Otherwise, you know, you don't have any claim. We here give our people their identification to make claim.
And what is drawing, or are you using to draw more people into the Moorish Temple?
Well, the week of April the 6th through the 12th, we're having an open house. And we're inviting each and everyone to come. Some of our topics are human rights versus civil rights, future guiders of the nation, teaching our children and elevating our children. Our children need to know who they are so that they can have a sense of equality.
Let's have a number for our viewers in the event they're interested in learning more about the open house and finding out more in general.
Okay, they can call 728-1861, 243-3571, and 235-6824.
Okay.
And the other drawing point is the money that President Lincoln established in the First National Bank, which is a network all around the world. That's what's drawing all of our people into the fold.
And we're going into the school systems doing various lectures in the colleges and in the elementary, junior high. And we're also meeting and sending out letters to meet with the PTAs of the school so that they can see that this policy will help.
Sheikha Seabreeze Bey, Sheik Ankh, thank you both very much for enlightening us about the Moorish-Americans and our audience.
Thanks
for being with us. We'll be back in just a minute. Please stay tuned.
City Line for our final segment of this half-hour special of City Line. And before we leave you, we'd like to remind you of the open house that the Moorish-Americans are having, 2500 Utah Place, and it will take place between April 6th and April 12th. And if you'd like more information, give us a call here, and we will answer your questions.
Sounds good. I'd also like to make you aware that WJZ, along with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Maryland, will be sponsoring Baby Fest from April 12th and 13th at Festival Hall from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Saturday and 11 to 6 on Sunday. For further information, call 727-BABY.
Now, we've got a biggie going. Harold Anthony, take it away.
Yes, as most of our viewers know, the last couple of weeks we've been holding a special contest where we at City Line have joined forces with the folks over at Johnson's Products to give away some very special prizes that we have. And as with any TV giveaway, we've asked you to supply us with some information, and the information was who was the first black male actor to portray the Shakespearean character Othello. We received hundreds of entries, and the 4 characters were Paul Robeson, Sidney Poitier, Ira Aldridge, or R.C. Davis. The answer, of course, is Ira Aldridge. If you sent in Paul Robeson's name, you were in good company, because a lot of folks did think that it was, in fact, Paul Robeson. It was not, however. Now we can get on with drawing the contest winners. BT, if you
I get to go
kind
first.
as to pick the third.
And we
place
didn't
winner.
say hello to T.
Hi,
but
T.
go ahead. Hi,
But
T.
you'll ask, we'll worry about you later.
The third place winner, which BT is selecting, will receive a gentle treatment hair care products,
Oh, I'm so
including a
excited.
classy curl styling kit and Ultra Sheen Cosmetics. And the lucky winner is probably a bald-headed man.
Well, now, I sure hope not. The winner is Mrs. Elsie G., I believe, Ali of Fairmount Avenue in Baltimore.
Very good.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
That was fabulous. Okay.
And Jackie gets to pick the second place winner.
Okay, let me do my major stretch here.
And the second place winner will receive a handsome pair of Calvin Klein calculators.
Okay, da-da-da-da-da-da. The second place winner is Michelle. And you'll have to help me, BT. What is that? Walker?
I'll help you, Jackie.
Okay, BT.
I know help.
Help us, Carol.
Does she give an address?
Michelle, give us a call here at the station.
Rockin' or
Rockin', W-A-H-E-I-R, or
something like that.
something in the neighborhood of.
Congratulations to you, Michelle.
Very good.
Number 2.
And last but not least, to
Wait a minute. You know, let's have a sense of drama here.
Oh,
This is the first
certainly.
place.
Can we have a drum roll, please?
And the winner
And
is,
she would pick an envelope. Great.
it's a love letter to
says
Jackie.
that, I would like to thank my mother and Khadija Fatu Mata.
Oh, fabulous. The grand prize winner.
And the grand prize winner will receive the second and third prizes, along with a beautiful Toshiba AM/FM stereo cassette recorder. And let's hear it for our grand prize winner.
Khadija Fatu
Well,
Mata.
I would like to once again congratulate all 3 winners and invite you to join us week by week, because we will be teaming forces with Johnson's Products to have more giveaways in the near future.
Certainly.
Excellent.
And of course, and among those potential answers, we had the names of great actors, black actors.
Sure were.
Next week.
Next week, we have a very interesting show. A young man by the name of Tony Allen will be discussing how he overcame drugs and alcohol and how he's working today as a drug counselor to assist other people who have similar problems and need some kind of support.
And he's a role model to an awful lot of people.
Very definitely, very definitely. I want to thank you all for being here. It's been a great show. My name is B.T. Bentley.
I'm Jackie Hall.
I'm T. Montier.
And Harold Anthony.
Have a good holiday.
Bye-bye.